Okay, hopefully we're live, although our countdown's off. Let's see. I'll change that for a minute. We're going to take a minute and just make sure we've got everything working. I've got a friend with me helping today. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's see if it's working. Are we getting people to see our comments yet? Yeah, give it. Well, you might be a couple seconds behind me. Let's see here. I want to make sure we get this working right. But we've never done back-to-back before with Tammy, so having them back-to-back kind of threw us off a little. Let's see here. Okay, I see 23 viewers. Let's see how the comments are going. Okay, how we doing? We got comments? Yay, okay, I see Cheryl's there. Okay, anybody else popping in? Let's see. I think I got this on the wrong line. Hold on just a minute. Well, you plan for everything and it doesn't always turn out the way you want. Okay. Well, let's say hi and then I'll see if I can get these comments going properly. Maybe I can have a chance to see. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. Say hi and then I'll see if I can get these comments. Oh, put that on mute so we can know. Okay. All right, there we go. Let me turn on my camera here. Okay, there, I think we got it. Is it working? Yeah, give it 1 second. You'll be a couple seconds behind. Okay, so I've got a friend. So come on over, Tiffany, for a minute, okay? Hi, everybody. It's good to have you all with us.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to let you in the picture. I've got my crafting bestie here to help me. So we were trying to get the comments going, so hopefully I can get your questions and stuff relayed back and forth. But happy National Scrapbook Day, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think we're good to go. How are we doing on comments? Are they coming through now?
Let's see.
We'll get a chance to actually say hi to everybody this way.
I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, here's 28. There they are.
There they are. Yay. Okay. All right. We're good to go. All right. And how are we doing on views? We got people fighting us now after Tammy. Hopefully you guys have fun watching Tammy. We are so sad to have Tammy not be able to be with us as often as in the past, but we're super excited for her and for her transition into her new business and for the growth that she's had. She's phenomenal and we love her. So best of luck, Tammy. Okay, so for today, let me put you over on my desktop for a minute. We are kit busting today. If you were in our royalty group just a little while ago, then you maybe saw that I posted some information about what I had in mind. I wanted to give you more of a workshop than a demo today. And so my hope is that you can watch what we do today and that we can then have you come back and watch the replay. And if you want to print out my guides, that I put into our royalty Facebook group, then you'll be able to come back and follow along with what we do, and hopefully you can do some kit busting of your own and get a bunch of projects made today or this weekend or in the future. So let me go back to me real fast. Okay, so my thinking with this workshop was that you get a Queen & Company kit and you've got some great 6x6 pattern papers, and you've got your shakers. And then sometimes I noticed in our Facebook group, some people say they get frozen trying to figure out how to jump in and dive in, or maybe they make a card or two, but then they don't get a lot finished and they've still got plenty more to make from their kits. So I wanted to figure out a way to make it easy to jump in and easy to get a lot made with one kit. Most of our kits have somewhere between depends on if it's a full kit, 5, 6, 7, 8 shakers, as well as your full pattern paper pad. And so what I did is I took a concept of having, if I can change this here, having a guide to show you what you would need supply-wise. And in this case, for the workshop we're doing today, it's 2 pattern papers, 1 stripes, 1 dots, and then 2 tone-on-tone papers, and this can be from any kit. I'm going to demo with the Ocean Friends kit today, but you could do this with any kit that you have. You can grab almost all of our paper pads have at least a striped and a polka dot, or some sort of multicolored pattern in them, and then they all have tone-on-tone papers. So you're going to pick 2 coordinating tone-on-tone papers that match your stripes and match your multi polka dotted paper. And then you're also going to need 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. And with that, we're going to go ahead and create a whole bunch of cards. So let's see if I pull the sketches up. There's the sketches. And I have a die guide, so you know how to cut those papers using our foundation dies. So here's a look at this. So you have a chance to know how to lay out your dies on your paper and how to then die cut them so that you have all these shapes, and if you have all of our foundation dies, you're in great shape to be able to follow along perfectly with these. But if you don't, that's all right. You can kind of get a feel for what we have there in the die guide, rectangles, circles. You can go ahead and do your best to just guesstimate what's there. So it doesn't matter if you have foundation dies or not. It's much easier with them, but you can still use them even if you don't have them or don't have all of them. So here's a look again at those. So this is how you would lay out for your striped paper, and this is how you would lay out for your polka dots and your two tone-on tones. And then the next page in my guide is actually for your white cardstock. So if you have those 3 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, then you're going to use most of them as card bases, and one of them, so you cut them in half for card bases, and one of those half sheets, you'll lay out your dies as I showed on the paper. And then you can take them, and what you get next, this is the photo or representation of what you would get next. All of these different pieces, all die cut. And when you die cut, I don't necessarily recommend that you do it all in one pass. Sometimes if you have a great big, like a Big Shot Plus or something like that, it might work. But oftentimes when you have that many dies on one sheet, the middle ones aren't going to get the same amount of pressure as the edges, and they may not die cut all the way through. So lay them out, get a few done in one pass, and then move and put a few more on your paper and get them all die cut. Unless, maybe that Big Shot Plus, it might be able to get all of them. How are we doing? Any questions over there?
Yeah. So, Jeannie is asking, is there any way to buy one part of the truck?
Oh, the truck. I'm afraid the kits are all incomplete kits right now. I hope that means you didn't lose something, Jeannie, but if you did, occasionally we have kits that are broken up that we can help out with. It depends, but you can email customer service and see if they can help you with that. But if you just want like the stamp set or whatever, I'm afraid right now they only come as a set.
And Lindsay's asking, do these make A2 size cards?
Yes. Oh, that's a great question. Yes. Let me go back to me here. So yes. So A2 size cards typically is what the die guides will be designed for. This time it's all A2. In the future, I'm hoping to do more, and maybe then we'll get a chance to do a few other sizes. So
awesome. Dawn was also asking, where does she find the guides?
That's another good question. So if you are a member of our Facebook group, so right now you're watching on our Facebook page. So pages on Facebook are different than groups. We have a group. It's called Queen & Company Royalty. And if you go to that group, you can see that I posted in our files section of the group a PDF for each page. There's 5 pages. And if you go to files, once you're in the group, you'll be able to see all of them and download them as PDFs and print them out. I also made a post with just some photos of the sheets. So if you prefer to just right click and save photos to your device and then print like that, you can do that as well. Okay.
Someone wants to know if they can borrow your mind.
That's what I was Robin. Right?
She'd like to borrow your mind. Yes, I think the same thing all the time. Trust me, Robin.
So Robin, Tiffany here is one of my very best friends, and we kind of connected over crafting, right? We would get together and craft together. She's my crafting bestie. And thankfully, because of her and my mom, I can actually quilt. So we also do a little bit of that. So we borrow each other's minds, and thankfully she saves me when it comes to quilting. All right, so let me take you over to my desk real fast. And let's see here. And I'll show you what these look like when you print them. Okay, so like I said, there's 5 pages, and they're the ones I just showed you. So sketches at the end, what you get when you use the dies. This you can see I kind of, I took the pattern papers and made them light so that the actual foundation dies would show up better on the paper. And you could see better which dies you're going to use. There's the one for the white cardstock, and there's your supply list. So if you want to print those out, that's what you'll get. And that will help you get started and find out what you want to do. Like I said, I designed this class to use the Ocean Friends kit, and I wanted to show you, when you're done die cutting, this is all I had left, was trying to help maximize your space on your papers so that you wouldn't have, or you'd have very little waste. And so that's all that's left. And I'm going to go ahead and toss those in the garbage because there's really not much you can do with those. But I wanted to show you just how much we're trying to maximize what we're up to. And let's see. Okay, any other questions on how to get started over there?
No questions yet, but we have someone here from Ireland. She's turning National Scrapbook Day into International Scrapbooking Day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So welcome to
Ireland.
Is it Annie McCann?
Fabulous. I'm so glad to have you with us. You said Anne?
Yes.
Hopefully I'm getting that right.
Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. But.
Okay, welcome. Okay, so for the next little while here, Tiffany and I are actually going to go ahead and demo, and we'll send her back and forth to look at comments and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and demo a little bit, putting some of these together, so you see what you get when you cut everything out. So what you'll end up with, of course, is a bunch of pieces all that need to be arranged. So when you have all of them cut and you've got this, then what you're going to do is you're going to lay out your sketches next to your pieces and then just pull them into little groups. So you can see I've got my little mini casserole dishes filled with each one. I went through and sorted them according to the sketches. And so let me turn on Tiffany's camera too. You can do both of us here. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Now you'll get both of us. So I'm on the left and Tiffany's over there on the right with her little dishes. And we're just going to kind of go to town and put things together. So
awesome.
We'll pop over and try to check comments now and then too, but just realize we can't quite see them as fast as we were a few minutes ago. But
someone was asking how they can use their crowns from their phone. Can they use their crowns from their phone?
You know, I'm not an expert at putting the crowns in through mobile, but I know you can. It's giving you trouble. Sometimes moving your phone into landscape mode makes a lot more things show up better. You might try that. Otherwise, you might have to do a desktop. I don't know. Which one do you want to work on, Tiffany? You want to pick a sketch?
Oh, I think I'll just do this one. Which is this one?
Okay, so
we'll do sketch number
three. So, and I'm going to do sketch number 1. So we're going to put these together first. And you can see that I already went through. I cheated. I made it easy on Tiffany. And I die cut everything ahead of time. We didn't do all the stamping, so we might do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Let's see. When Tiffany and I craft, usually we end up doing this at nighttime and not in the daytime.
I don't know that we've ever crafted during the day before, Ginger.
I don't know. We usually end up doing it through the middle of the night. So
yep.
I'm going to grow supplies. You've got tape runner. I'm going to grab some glue.
Okay.
I've got shear glue if I need it, although I pre-assembled my shakers, so I may not need it as much as I hadn't. So we'll see how many cards we can bust through here in our remaining time. Now, when you look at the die guides, you'll notice that I only paid attention to the front of the papers. But obviously, the Queen & Company papers are all double-sided. And so if you find that you're looking at that paper and you're like, you know, I'm not really loving how that particular paper looks in this particular layout, try flipping it over. And maybe that'll give you a chance to actually find a combination that you like a little better. And you'll note too that these are just your basics. These are just your basic pieces. I would probably still go through and grab some of my scraps and some of my tone, you know, when you use our solids, our coordinating solids, they're great for die cutting all the little accents you might want. Like for example, in the Ocean Friends kit, you've got some seashells and some seaweed, some coral. And so you still might add and die cut more, but this will at least get you the foundation of your card all set and ready to go. And then you can add bling and your shakers however you want. So how are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Oh my goodness!
Look at how good I'm doing. I'm sailing.
Me.
When Ginger preps it all for me, I craft really fast. It's when I have to make those decisions of picking which cute paper to use first that I get stumped.
Get stuck. Well, would it help though to say, hey, you just need a polka dot, you just need a stripe, and then two
I love
matchers?
that. That actually makes it so much easier for me, and it gives you a lot of versatility too with all the papers, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of, we were talking about this before we got started. That once you get through your 4 papers, you still have a lot of other choices in the paper pad. Yep. So you can do the same concept again, just picking similar, tone on tones, and then a few other, basic patterns that can kind of fill in the general concept and keep you, you basically are just looking for the contrast. It doesn't have to be stripes. It doesn't have to be polka dots, but you want the contrast of being able to have the colors and patterns pop away from each other, sort of get all muted together. I'm going to raise that up a little bit because I want to do some stamping under there. Oh. Okay. Which shape? I can't remember. That one's the seal. Okay.
Yep. So
we'll have
cute.
to have you pick from, and depending on your stamp set, you might have to do a different sentiment, die cut, because I wasn't sure, what kit everyone would be using. So just realize that if you find that your sentiment doesn't fit in the place that I showed you on the die guide, that, you know, obviously you can grab some more cardstock and cut out one that will fit the sentiment you want to use. So for the seal, there's a few ones that could be fun. What is on there? Nice to see you.
That one's adorable. Yep.
Or I think there's one for birthday.
Yep. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, there you
That's
go. A
cute.
birthday one. So
that's really cute.
I got glue on my desk. Okay, so I'm just going to trim. So there is a couple places on the die guides where you're going to have to trim. And it's not very many places, but just realize, unlike the sketches that are posted for our monthly sketch challenge or for the contest for this weekend, which I should have mentioned and forgot, there is a sketch challenge this weekend in our Facebook group as well. You might have to trim a little bit, and I marked that on the papers. So if you look up here, you can see where I marked you're gonna have to trim to fit occasionally. So you will have a little bit of extra waste you may have to deal with. So
awesome.
Man, you're flying over there. You already got your accents on and everything.
Well, I don't have anything glued down yet. I'm still thinking.
Still figuring, okay.
So I think I want to do the nice to see you sentiment.
Okay, so on that one, did I give you, maybe I didn't give you the little one. See, I told you I prepped it for you and then I didn't. All right, that's okay. We'll die cut for you. Let me pull this over. Okay, so I failed to give her, it probably means I messed up and put it with the wrong stack, but we'll use that scrap paper that I've got here.
I'm going to go over here and check some questions, see if there's any questions while you do that.
And I think it was the medium one. Let's see here. So let me die cut sentiment strip for her real fast so she can stamp.
Tammy said, this is so awesome. I'm a paper hoarder and waster. So this class is really going to help.
That's exactly what motivated me to do it, because I'm the same thing. So this little stack of like hardly anything, just skeletal scraps left, I would get frustrated because I would go to cut and I had little die cuts here, 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 and there, and then a big space in the middle, and I couldn't use it the way I wanted to, because if I'd planned it ahead of time, I could have made better use of it. But because I didn't plan ahead, I had that same paper waster issue as well.
Yep.
Okay, so now I die cut you your sentiment strip.
Gail was wishing she was home so she could watch on her computer, but you can always watch this later.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So don't worry about
that. So
yep.
Definitely, you can go back and download the PDFs, print them out, and then you can go ahead and come make your cards anytime you want with any kit you want to work. Okay, Tiffany, I've given you your
awesome
sentiment strip. Any other comments there? I should catch?
Michelle says it's more fun to use the casserole dishes this way than actually in the kitchen.
Who wants to cook dinner when you could craft, right? Yeah, I love these little things. I think they came from Amazon. They're a little, what are they, about a 5x7-ish almost?
Yep.
Not quite.
Jackie's again asking where she can find the sketches to print them all out.
Okay, so if you missed it from the beginning, you have to go to our Facebook group. It is the Queen and Company Royalty Group. It is a private group, but it is public in terms of we let anyone in so long as they're a crafter. You have to answer a couple of questions to make sure that you are a crafter. But other than that, you can come on in and then you go to the file section. If you're on mobile, there is a scrolling list of options at the top of a Facebook group. One of those scrolling options is files. And if you're on a PC, it's, I believe, in a menu on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Any other questions there?
Yeah, well, here's one for me.
Oh, okay.
Asking if Ginger is always sweet and kind.
Don't. See,
and
I'm gonna have to hit the mute button here for a minute because she knows me really
actually,
well.
Ginger is my dearest friend, and
I mean, she knows me how I'm really like. So don't listen. She's a liar.
I love her to death, and we've been friends for a long time. So she is authentic on these lives as she is in a real person. So,
oh man, she's a good liar.
I'm grateful for her friendship and count my lucky stars every day that we're such good friends. So
I hope you guys all have good crafty friends like Tiffany and I have each other, because Tiffany's just as awesome as she says I am. So.
Could you put the sketches up a little to see the guides to see all the guides at once?
Okay, they should be on my screen now. I can make them bigger in a minute. But if you want to see them bigger, you can pull up the royalty group right now. I've got both the PDFs you can download as well as a JPEG, a picture that I posted as I explained my class about an hour ago that you can pull up and make it big on your computer if you want.
Carrie's wondering, where's a good place to start with die cutting supplies for card making? What can help? What purchase can help her get started most efficiently?
Well, if you don't have a die cut machine, you'll have to start there first of all. So you can see I'm using my old Cuttlebug, but I've got lots of options. Over there next to Tiffany, which is probably still showing on her screen, is my Big Shot. I recommend that one. It's easy to find. It's easy to find supplies for. It cuts well. But there's other options out there. I have a couple mini machines that I like too. If you don't want to make the investment of a large machine right away, you can start with a small one. They have a Sidekick, or this one is a We Are Memory Keepers, little mini machines. However, just know that, well, most of our kit dies will work in a mini machine. Most of our foundation dies have larger pieces that probably wouldn't fit. So I recommend the Big Shot, probably. There are several other options. I just happen to have that one. I've had it for a while and I like it. Yep. But then you also, if you want to follow along with what we're doing, foundation dies. Maybe we should ask for comments to help her out in the live. Do you love foundation dies if you have them? Let her know if you have a favorite set that you would recommend her getting started with. 1 and 2 were the first ones we came out with, obviously, and they have some great foundation pieces for getting started. So, although I think I have to ask Wendy which one our most popular set is. I'm not sure anymore. It used to be 2, but that may have changed.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see, if I glue my little jellyfish down, I'll have that card nearly complete. I'm going to have to stamp down here my sentiment, but I'm going to put that aside and move on to another one here real fast. Actually, maybe I'll glue that down first. Okay, how are we doing? Any other comments over there? Hopefully the idea makes sense. I hope that it isn't. Everyone
seems to be loving the ideas, and people are all suggesting the foundation dies to start.
Oh, good. Okay, what are you guys suggesting there?
And 1 and 3 are Maria's favorite. Angela loves 8.
Oh, 8's a good one too.
Yep. Laura loves 4.
Good. Yeah, that one's versatile because it has a lot of good like banners and stuff in it too, which we are going to use.
Yes. Norma says foundation 3 is her favorite because of the sentiment dies.
Yep. It is handy to have a whole bunch of different sizes of those.
Yep. And so lots of people, everyone's got an opinion. 3 is getting a lot of votes.
Okay, good.
3, 8, 9, and 10 are Dee's favorites.
Hi, Dee. Dee and I have the same name. Dee is my middle name.
Yep.
So we're friend twins, or name twins.
I like the way that Dawn thinks. She says all the foundation die sets.
Yep, that's what I would say, but yep. I have a special in with that.
I was telling Ginger earlier that I like to buy Queen and Company sets for my mom. She does a lot of card making, and now I can't.
Royalty group too, yeah.
Yep, so. I can't keep up with her anymore. I can't buy before she does.
Yeah, how can you get her Mother's Day gifts if she keeps buying it for herself?
I don't know. I got her flowers this year, but I should have got her the fancy
the
floral
fancy flowers.
set.
Maybe she got it for herself.
I hope so, because that's an adorable set. So
let's see. If you didn't catch that yesterday, that's our brand new kit that just launched yesterday. So fancy florals or flowers. Okay. I'm going to lay out here for sketch number 2. I'm going to get ahead of you, Tiffany. If you
I know, I'm sorry. Anne is asking, is the mystery kit going to be available this weekend?
Yes, I believe that's only for this weekend or until it sells out. You know, if it sells out before that, then we're going to have to go ahead and, it won't, I can't promise the whole weekend, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And Jackie's saying the holiday foundation dies are wonderful.
Oh, I love those.
And I do love those too.
Matter of fact, on one of these cards we'll get to, I'll show you where I actually grabbed one of the ornaments and actually used it for the sentiment to stamp on too.
That's right.
It's just an oval. So.
And there's 3 new foundation die sets coming soon. 16, 17, and 18. Is that correct?
That's true. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you, but I think you're going to like them. They are a little different than what we've done in the past. Okay, don't get me fired, people, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up, okay? We have in the past put up sketches that are not A2 sized. They might be square, they might be 5x7s, but we don't do it very often because we don't have dies that match them. So there's my hint, and I'm going to show you just a couple of the ones that come in the mini slimline set. Okay, but these dies are going to be really fun, and they're going to give you a lot more versatile options for different card sizes. So A2 is awesome, and these dies can all be used on A2, but I think you'll find that if you want to expand the possibilities a little bit, and our sketches will correspond as we continue on, that you'll have a lot of really nice, fun options if you add, what is it, 16, 17, 18?
Yep, I think that's right. Yep.
Coming up hopefully in June.
Yep. And Dawn says, mystery kit. Wait, what?
Okay, so for our National Scrapbook Day, the mystery kit. I am so sorry. I thought you were talking about our mystery bling bundles that are part of the weekend thing.
Okay.
Mystery kit coming up. You want a hint on the mystery? Oh, man. Okay. I'll tell you, it's probably going to be my favorite kit that we've ever done. And I probably can't tell you any more than that.
Yes, and let's clarify. The mystery kit is coming out in July?
Yeah, probably July, depending on supply chain issues.
Yes.
But Probably July. That's about all I can promise at this point. Hopefully July.
So sorry about the confusion there.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I thought we have so many mystery things going on that I thought it was stuff related to this weekend. But you're right. Mystery Kit will not be named Mystery Kit, just so you know. We just haven't named it yet. So
Okay. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to come back over here and see if I can catch up. I think I caught up on most of the questions. Someone did ask what kind of adhesive you were using.
Oh, okay. Right now I've just got my favorite liquid glue, for paper at least. This is art glitter glue. I have a few others that I like. The Barely Art is also good. I've also got on my desk a little bottle of my sheer glue. This is just a fine micro tip bottle that I keep a pin in so that it will be a real fine line when I use it. I use this a lot when I'm gluing down acetate, which I'm about to do. I'm actually going to make one of these shakers from the Under the Sea kit from start to finish, so you can get a look at how that turns out in case you haven't tried one of our shakers before. But I think I said I was doing 2. I'm not doing sketch 2. I'm doing sketch 4, just in case I said it wrong.
Oops, I got glue all over that.
Good. Show it on camera so they can know we're real here.
There we go. I can show you my fingers. That came out a little faster than I was anticipating.
If you don't get glue everywhere, did you even craft?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Okay.
Let's see.
One of the things that I thought would be fun is that after I went through and made these cards, I could go through and grab another set of papers and kind of do the same thing, because you were talking about how your mom likes to make multiples of the same card.
She does.
But this would give you a chance to do really similar, but not completely the same.
Right.
If you really wanted to bust through a kit. Because if you make them all the same, you're going to run out of the same papers and stuff pretty quick.
Well, she likes to make them in bulk at the beginning of the year, so she makes sure she has a card for everyone in the family.
We keep saying we're going to do that.
I know. We're going to do it someday.
Someday we're going to do it.
Someday when we have a lot of extra time, right?
Mm-hmm. Someday.
Yep. But yeah, they definitely have... we have lots of family that we have to make cards for. Sorry, I'm trying to put things
talk
together
and craft at the same time.
It's hard. We do pretty good at laughing and crafting at the same time,
we do.
though.
Usually, that's why it's usually late at night. Usually, the later it gets, the funnier it gets too.
That's true. That's true.
All right. My accent dies on there. I cheated a tiny bit on this particular sketch. So you see the sketch here that I'm working on. I also cut from our foundation. I said, I can't remember which one this is. Let me look at the back of it. Set 15. So from set 15, I also cut our little circle die, because I thought, since we're doing our Ocean Friends kit and I'm about to make a whale, I thought I'd give him a little bit bigger home than what the sketch shows. So I'm going to die cut my whale and put him on top of these because they look like bubbles to me. So.
All right, I'm going to work on this one. Let's see, which one is this one?
You've got the Stingray. Is
that 2?
Yep, that's number 2.
Okay.
That's a fun one. And an easy one, too. One of the nice things about die cutting according to the guides in the papers is that you get all those little thin strips. So I was having fun coming up with ways to use all those little thin strips to give yourself a background. I often use them as a little border, but create your own background I thought was a fun way to use them.
No, this is 5.
Oh,
just kidding.
Sorry. Oh, Stingray. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, Stingray's 5.
5 is good too.
I started looking at 2 going, I don't think I have all those pieces.
Okay. Let's see. So let me set this aside for a second. Let's show, just in case you are new or newish to Queen & Company, let me show you how you assemble one of our shakers from complete start to finish. Let me put I'm using my new Queen & Company sticky notes to hold on to my acetate so I don't lose it. That's one of our free with purchase items this weekend. If you haven't already reached that threshold to get that free with your purchase, I highly recommend it. Okay, so like I said, in case you're new, let's start from the very beginning. So I've got this blue paper up here, which I'm going to use to die cut my whale. I'm going to use the back side because it's a nice, pretty light blue. In our kits, we have what we call our decorative dies. Our decorative dies usually have stitching on them, and they are meant to cut a frame that will go around our pre-cut foam. So if you look at our pre-cut foam, it's awesome because it is double-sided adhesive on both sides. You have a paper liner that you can peel off and expose the sticky adhesive, and then you can, it just makes it super easy to make a shaker because you don't have to finagle or put little tiny strips of foam in your shape. You can go ahead and just use this. It's already pre-cut for you. Okay. So in our kits, you get the die that will cut a nice cover for that, and I'll show you that in just a second. You also have the option of an add-on die. This is what we call our outline die. this is a separate purchase because we want to keep our kits as affordable as possible. Not everyone adds our outline dies in order to keep the cost down. But for those of you who love the outline dies, and I know many of you do, you know, that's an option to add on. But in lieu of the outline dies, you can simply, you know, take your foam and stick it down right onto your card base. I could do that here with our whale. I could just stick it right down on that, like that. But I want the background to be solid. So instead of fussy cutting, I'm going to run it through my die cut machine like this, and I'm going to cut my frame at the same time. So this on camera. Okay. So running this through my Cuttlebug. Move that out of the way first. And then you'll see what we end up with after running it through. Okay, so there's my dies, and there's the cut pieces. I'm going to use this piece here as my background. If you get the outline dies, you can also use that outline die to cut extra of your acetates. So if you lose them, or if you just want to do do-it-yourself refills, the outline dies are super useful for that. Okay, so there's my scraps. Now see, I didn't plan, so now I've got random pieces all over, right? Hopefully you guys don't end up with too much of that. Don't want to waste. Okay, so let's see. Here's my frame piece. I'm going to actually pop this middle piece of foam back in because it helps hold the shape stable. This is a fairly large opening, and if I take out that middle piece before I attempt to stick it down on this, it often will get a little bent out of shape, and I don't want that. So I'm actually going to leave that middle piece in, and I'm going to go ahead and pull off just the outside liner. And then I'm going to line that up with my background piece that I cut with my outline die. Hopefully that's straight. There we go. And now because I didn't pull all the adhesive off the very back piece, I can just pop that part out and save that for some other project because it's cute. It actually looks like a whale still. Sometimes you pull out the middle piece and it doesn't look like anything, and you can just save it to chop it up and use it as a pop dot later. Okay, so let me get my extra pieces out of the way here. I like to put my dies on my little magnetic holders, if you can see that in the corner there, so I don't lose them while I'm crafting, especially if they're small, but even the big ones. But in the kit, you will also get a bunch of fillers. And for the Ocean Friends kit, I'm using some of these blue and clear little bubble, which are like kind of like mini glass beads with no hole, which look really pretty in these shakers. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of those into my whale. You can see how much they look like bubbles, so they're perfect little additions to my little whale kit. Let me swirl those around and mix them up. You can see that one's going to shake really well. I like that. And then thanks to my little sticky note, I didn't lose my acetate. I'm going to leave it on there even longer. Oh, what you looking for, Tiffany?
Well, I was going to do a stamp, but I think I'm going to move on to this one.
Oh, are you already? Oh, man,
well,
so
I've
fast,
got two that I need sentiments for.
Okay, well, we can do
which
some
I've
stamping
got
in a second. Great.
But if I move on to this next one, it actually already has a stamped sentiment.
Oh, yeah, I did stamp at least one or two ahead of time. So
yep.
Hopefully.
I don't see.
Okay, there's my acetate now on
stamped.
my little whale. So that's all set to go. I just got to glue on my decorative die cut for the top. And let's get that glued on.
And this one's going to be sketch 2 that I'm working on.
Finally on to sketch 2.
Yes. I thought I should eventually start it.
I'm glad we didn't go in order. That would not be like us.
That would not be. And if everything went right, that probably wouldn't work either.
No. But the nice thing is, because you cut them all out from the get-go, it doesn't matter what order you go in, right?
Nope, it doesn't.
Okay, there's my little whale shaker. I think he needs an eyeball, though.
Oh, yes.
I cheat. There is face dies in the kit, but for him, he just needs a cute little eye. There we go. So I've got a little bling rhinestone for his eye. Okay, so back to our card sketch. Let me just get a little glue on my circles. We'll get that glued down. And then we'll be all set to add him to his little home on his card here.
That little stingray is so adorable.
Aw, he is cute, isn't he? He's friendly looking stingray. Especially since then you can choose. There is like a mouth, like a smile, and eyes and stuff, but you don't have to do that too. If you want it more natural looking, you can skip the face.
I think the faces make them just look so cute, though.
And I know the dies are a little annoying for the faces because they're so tiny, but they add a lot. And so they're in the kit, and you can choose
I love the eyelashes here that you put on the seal.
Jellyfish oh yeah, so the jellyfish has them, and the seal has them.
So cute, right?
If you want, a girl stingray or a girl sea fish, or stingray or seal, or of course we've got the narwhal in there too. Yep. One tip maybe for cutting those little face pieces. So here's the jellyfish that I did earlier today. I will grab my piece of black cardstock, and then I'll use like a piece of score tape on the back. And that way, when you get ready to die cut those little pieces, once you die cut them, they're already sticky on the back, like a sticker, and then you can just pull them off, and it's like using a sticker, and it's a lot easier to control where they get placed and stuff. And you don't have glue, tiny little bits of glue that you have to get absolutely perfect, or else it'll squeeze out from underneath your die cut. So if you can get a score tape type of situation on the back of your paper first, it can save you a lot of headache with trying to get those pieces right. Okay, so here's my little whale.
So I think Ginger invited me on this live so you could all see real time, not perfect scrapbooking like what Ginger does.
She's doing great over there, isn't she?
I've got
to tell her thank
I've
you
got
so much
glue
for coming.
everywhere.
Real is what we're going for, and I've got the same too. I don't know, you can't really see it on camera, but I have, there's fingerprints on my acetate and stuff. I'll give them a little brush later and things, but and I've got glue on my finger too. So you're in good company.
This is real scrapbooking right here, real card making.
So with my whale, I'm probably going to put a little sentiment down here later, so we'll add that later too. But that's how you put together a Queen & Company shaker, just like that. Okay, put him over here with the jellyfish card. How are we doing time-wise too?
Doing okay. Let me look at some more questions just in case anything more has come in. I'm almost done over there.
Done all in just under an hour. Isn't that great?
And what a fun thing to do with friends too. I'm thinking that this would be a good mom and me activity to go to my mom's, and we
should sit down and do this. We'll actually get our birthday cards and everything all done at the beginning of the year next year, Tiffany. So.
That's true. That's true.
What was I going to show you? Oh, so on the sketches. Okay, maybe you've noticed that there is actually a 6th sketch down here. This is your bonus card. So when you follow the die cutting, you will notice there are a few pieces that are not used in the sketches. And it's this large frame here, cut with die from set 14, one more little tiny banner piece, and a little circle. So if you want to, you can actually make 6 cards with this particular layout. This, you'd have to cut another card base. So you'd have to, add additional paper that is not in your original instructions. But then you can go ahead and find a nice fun shaker to go right in the center. And matter of fact, I think if I were to do this, I'm not going to do it today, but if you have set 13, then you have a couple of these fun little starburst dies. I think if you were to cut your background, or not cut, but cut into your background with this die doesn't cut a shape, it just adds that fun starburst decorative stitching. I put that right in the middle, then add my shaker right to the middle, and you'd have another finished card in no time. So 6 cards from just slightly over, what do we have total? 4 pieces of pattern paper and 3.5 of the pieces of white cardstock.
So question for you, Ginger. How long does it take you to design one of your paper pads?
Paper pads? It depends a lot on whether I'm in the mood. Wendy will testify to you that Christmas is probably the hardest for me, partially because we do it so often. We often do a paper pad that has Christmas designs in it once in the fall for a Christmas release, and then sometimes in the summer too. And red and green are great, but they're just red and green. Most of our paper pads have a lot more color than that. So Christmas, I love making Christmas stuff, and I love Christmas time itself, but Christmas paper pad designing is probably my least favorite, and that one takes longer. Things like our Ocean Friends kit with all these fun patterns. Usually what I do is I work on colors first, and I fine tune and play with my Pantone books and get, I'll show you what I use here. I have my Pantone color books, and I actually have a sticker book too or swatch book where I can go through and get all my swatches right close to each other and play with getting the color just the right shade. Once I have my colors, then I go to town at designing the various papers that are in there. Usually you'll find that in our paper pads that there's at least one paper that's much more complicated. It often echoes the shakers and the shapes and the themes of our kit, and those ones can take a week just for that one paper. But then the others will be a lot faster. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yep. Barbara is asking if there's going to be any die patterns to go with all the sketches that have been released this weekend.
Maybe someday. It would be a huge amount of work to figure that out, and maybe I can have the time to do that in the future. I intend at the moment to keep going kind of as we've done this way, where I'll make, we'll keep doing sketches that are kind of up to you to figure out how you want to lay them out and die cut them. But I'm going to hopefully maybe for World Card Making Day, we'll do another set like this where we'll go through and pre-plan the whole die cut and then sketch afterwards part. But to go backwards from sketch to die cutting is a lot harder. So maybe I'll let you know.
Someone commented this would be a great thing to do to take to a senior care center.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Pre-prepare all of these cards to make, have all the little pieces already cut out. That's a great idea. You can also do that for,
that's a really good idea, especially since you'd be able to prep for the class a lot faster this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be all set.
Very fast.
Within an hour, you could probably get it all prepped, other than, well, it depends on how long it takes you to make your shakers and stuff, but at least get all of the background dies cut and
that's right.
different pieces cut.
Laura wants to know where you get those color swatches from.
Oh, online. Pantone, they sell just about anywhere. I think my particular ones probably came from Amazon, but they're, there you go. So these are Pantone color books. So I use them in order to make sure that the printers print the colors that we want them to print. So I can show you my swatch books if you want. Let's see if I can do it without knocking too much stuff over. They're a little bit buried at the moment.
Do you have any idea when you're going to show what's in the mystery bundles?
The bundles or the kit? Because the bundles, I don't even know what's in them. Only Wendy and the crew that are working in the warehouse know what's in them.
Well, I guess her question is the mystery bundles under the National Scrapbook Day area of the website.
Okay, those, you're just ordering them sight unseen. So this is what, if you're wondering what the swatch books look like, this is my swatch book. So that's how that works. And I can actually separate those out. They pop out, they're perforated, and I can pop out the different colors and put them next to each other. So I'll do that sometimes. The mystery bundles in the National Scrapbook Day sale, you will find out what's in them when they arrive at your house. You're buying them sight unseen. So they really are a mystery. And like I said, they're a mystery to me too, because I don't, the warehouse is in Arizona. I'm based in Texas. And so I often find out when you guys post stuff in the Facebook group what was in them.
Yeah,
so
definitely let us know what you get though.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see it. And so I know what goes into the kits. I know what goes into the paper pads, the stamps, because I designed those. But when it comes to embellishments and stuff like that, often that's the genius that Wendy has in figuring out great stuff that coordinate with the stuff that I put together. So
let's see. Love your organizer in the background for the new toppings bags. What's it called so it can be ordered?
Oh, this thing? Okay. So they're talking about behind me on the wall. Those are, I think they're from Five Below. They're like a
jewelry organizer.
Like a jewelry organizer or a makeup organizer or whatever. They're just little pockets. It's, like if you have the over-the-door shoe things, it's like that, only smaller. They're from Five Below, and so I have a lot of Queen & Company bling, and I use it a lot. So I'm visual. I like things to be handy. Maybe you've noticed that. I like things to be where I can see them. And so, they're nice because the pocket is just like the perfect size for the Queen & Company bling background pieces and stuff. So I can put, so if you're looking at what's behind me here, I've got, I've got, the most recent stuff on this side, pink ones there, but they fit all the different bundles. So like these right here are Sparkle Swirls. These here are the new baubles. They're all together in one pocket, which is super helpful.
Awesome.
My mic back on.
Elaine's wondering if you're currently designing a new paper pad. Aren't you always designing?
Always. Currently designing Halloween stuff. Almost done. So
awesome.
So, and then after that will be Christmas. Although we have a fall kit coming this year. We haven't done one in a few years, and that paper pad, well, that kit's been designed for a while. We've tried to release it in 2021, but supply chain issues. So it'll be here this year, but it's going to be one of my favorites too. So.
Awesome. Someone wants to know, Laura wants to know, how big is your scrapbook room?
What is it? About a
10 by
12?
10? 10 by 12, yeah.
I think it's a 10 by 12. So
it's a nice size room.
Not super huge, but it's the office that came with the house, and I took it over the minute we moved in. So.
You see how much stuff she has in here, though. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. You can't see all of it because some of it's too messy to show, but yeah, I can show you. So if you haven't seen my desk before, this is my main desk area, and you can see my camera's all hooked up to show you what we're making over there right now. But this is my Queen & Company main desk area. There's plenty of other junk in this room, too, though, that I won't be showing you. I didn't show you.
Lots of excitement for a new fall kit, Ginger.
Sorry, I promised them I show my desk, and then I showed them. Oh, there it is. That's my Queen & Company desk. There we go. The rest of the room is too messy to show. Okay. All right, try that. Okay. What was the question?
No, just lots of excitement for a new fall kit.
Oh, yeah.
Some are wondering if there'll be a Thanksgiving and Easter kit coming up.
I would say the fall kit would definitely cover your Thanksgiving category. So but that's too much spoilers at this point. But Easter, maybe we'll do another one soon. We've done Bring on Spring, which is the best Easter example we have at the moment, but I definitely wouldn't rule out doing more. So
okay.
All right, how are we doing? Should we stamp, I think, or is there
more
questions we should get first?
I think we've got about all the questions for now. Let us know if you have any other questions. We'll try and get to them.
See what we can do about stamping here.
Head over here and finish this last card. Okay. I really am so close.
Yeah, you really are. We've almost got all 5 of these done. Then I guess if we really want to, we could do our bonus one if we have time. But this is so if you want to look at the bonus pieces, well, she gets that last one done there. This is what you would have left over, is you would have this frame, and you would have this banner piece, and then you'd have this little circle. So I added one of our little pre-made octopuses from the Ocean Friends kit. And you could, like I said, I think I would take the Starburst and die cut that behind her, or I could emboss, either one. I could emboss that background just to jazz it up a little bit. And then I probably would also die cut maybe a little sentiment strip to go along the bottom, or I could stamp right along here. If you don't emboss, you could actually do that. So that's the bonus sketch. We'll see if we have time to actually put that one together or not. But I'm going to put it back in its baggie. I was out of casserole dishes. Okay.
But now that we've finished so many, look how many empty casserole dishes we have.
I know, they're everywhere now. I should stack them up and get them out of the way.
I love that organization, though, of keeping the pieces that go together.
I mainly bought this so we could do live broadcasts, but now that I'm seeing, usually I just work on one card at a time. But when you have multiple things going on at once, there's nothing like having a little way to keep them organized. So, Okay, let's figure out some stamping here. Maybe for my whale, I might do.
And this one here, you see Ginger already did the stamp for me, but it says, "Oh snap, I missed your birthday."
Oh yeah, so that's the one that I used that little tiny oval die from the holiday kit. So whoever, I can't remember who said they loved the holiday kit, you can use it for a lot more than just Christmas. So
you have a piece of foam tape. I kind of want to pop this sentiment up a little bit.
Okay, so there's a drawer right underneath you right here. There we go.
You think I would know where all her fun is? Yep, that'll be perfect.
Pair of scissors right over here.
Yep.
Oh, I knocked it over. Sorry.
It's okay.
She puts up with me. Okay. So let's
Who wouldn't, right?
Maybe I should show how I do my stamping. Okay. So I think for this card, I'm actually going to add a little sentiment strip right here. So let me die cut another one of those super quick before we do some stamping. So let's see what would fit. This is from set 2. I think it'll fit. I'm going to do my Get Whale Soon. Perfect. How about you? Do you need any more sentiment strips, or do you have the strips that you need?
I have the strips that I need.
Okay.
So
did you pick out which stamp set you want to do, or stamp scene?
Yep. For the, let's see, for the seal, I think I was going to do, I don't know now. That It's Your Birthday, Let's Celebrate is so
that's
cute.
So will it fit on the strip that's included in the die guide, or do you need a bigger one?
I'm not sure, but the other one I can do Nice to See You.
Oh, that's cute.
That one's really cute. Let me see.
I should show. Okay, so I added this without giving you too many sneak peeks, but I want to show you in case you haven't seen. Get my phone out of here. In case you haven't seen how I store my dies, you can tell I'm reaching for them. I like to keep things right at hand, right? So I can't show you too far over there, or you're gonna see things you shouldn't see. But but I have magnetic things on the wall.
Should I bump her hand?
So, no. Get me fired. I dropped my mic too. Isn't it way more fun when Tiffany joins me?
I'm kind of trouble. Sorry.
Total trouble. But anyway, so that's how I keep my foundation dies handy, is I keep them on magnetic sheets on the wall. Okay.
Was this part of one of my kits and I didn't even put it on?
Oh, that's just one of, I had an extra little die cut hanging around, so I put it out handy in case we want it. And I also have the bling over there that works well with this kit if you decide you want to bling out your cards.
Yeah.
All right, Get Whale Soon. Here we go. Okay, so
while you do that,
let me talk about my stamping platform for a minute. This is a We Are Memory Keepers mini stamp platform. I like it because it's spring-loaded, which makes it easier to make sure you don't mess up when you're... I have some hinge ones, which I like, but I liked that this one is just a straight up and down, and less likely to goof up. So I've got a piece of magnetic sheet under there. You know, it doesn't come this way. I added a little sheet of sticky back magnetic, sheet there so I can hold my dies still for me, as well as a very, very super thin, like 1 millimeter thin piece of fun foam, just so that it has a little more grip to it and my die cuts don't slide around on me. But because of the magnetic sheet, I can use magnets to hold my dies. And I've even got, if you don't want magnets, if you wanted to skip that step, I still would put the foam because that plain piece of plastic is really smooth and things can move on you. So this is just some low tack tape, I like washi tape. But I'm going to take my stamp. Let me see, before I put the magnets there, I want to make sure I get it centered. And looks almost straight. See, I'm not type A, so it doesn't matter if it's kind of wonky that way, so long as it's straight, the stamp on the actual cinnamon strip. Then I'm going to pick up my stamp using a little spring-loaded action. And then, because most of my stamping is small, let me show you this real fast. Lift it. There's my drawer, if you can see over there. That's my drawer full of little like ink spots. So I'm going to go ahead and grab an ink spot with a, let's see, should we do purple or blue? Let's see. We'll do a blue. So an aqua colored ink spot, give it a good stamping, load up the ink. And then part of the reason, of course, that I like a stamping platform is if it's not perfect the first time, you can do it again. So you can see it's not quite perfect. So we'll give it another good coating of ink. And then we'll have, should be pretty good coverage at that point. Yeah, that looks great. And now maybe I'll do the same as Tiffany and grab my foam tape. We can add that right to the corner of my card right there.
I definitely like to pop up my sentiments.
I go through foam tape pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, we didn't do as much of it with this particular set, but that's mostly because we wanted to get it all done for the live. But
yeah. Tori is saying a tutorial on how many and the placement of the extra bling would be great. So I know someone asked, they said that they seem to use too much bling, but I don't know if there's such a thing.
No such thing, yeah.
But the bling just really adds so much to the cards. But
it does. Okay, well, I don't know if I could do a tutorial. A lot of, for me, is just, I put it in a, I'll lightly, let's see here, we'll grab some right now. Okay, I do like the rule of threes and fives. I use a lot of that, where in order to move your eye across your project, I'll make sure that there's a grouping that does that. So for bling, I'll use bling a lot to do that. So for this particular one, I don't know. Sometimes I like the bling that you can actually separate the sticky. See how I left the sticky there? If you don't use your fingernail to kind of lift up the sticky, you can leave the sticky behind, which means with some of our larger bling, you can play around with the placement of it before you actually permanently set it down. And I actually do that quite a bit, actually. So for this particular one, let's use some blue. You can do things like, for example, start with 3 larger types of bling and then add in, I don't know if I want to use enamel dots or not, maybe, but then I'll probably go through and stick some different sizes to kind of just accent, well, just to give you some variety in the sizes, really helps move the eye into those areas. And so I've got these two, and sometimes that gives you kind of a Z pattern, which also looks good. But I might add some bling over here to give it, I'm going to peel that one up over here. And then you've got your rule of threes. And that helps move your eye across your card or your project, whatever you're making, in a more of a visual triangle. And that's, one of those brain patterns that scientists say that our eyes like that and are drawn to that. So when it comes to bling, I'll often do something like that. So like I said, I didn't include the sticky part on the back of that bling, but I can go grab it now and say, hey, okay, I do kind of like that placement, and I'll stick it down, and that will help move the eye across my card. That makes sense. Yep. So hopefully that answers your question on that one. But as far as tutorials, I don't know if there's a better way to do it other than say, okay, let's try this here, let's try that there. That's what I usually do. I'll be like, okay, that looks good, or that doesn't look good, don't do that. So I'm definitely prone to having to scrape up and pick up a piece of bling that I didn't get in the right spot or that I didn't like, and then I'll have to I'll have to stick it down a different spot, and I'll have to put a little bit of liquid glue underneath it because I moved it so many times it's not sticky anymore. So. Yep. Okay, so what do you need over there to finish your?
I just need the top to do my stamp.
Oh, okay.
To pick up my stamp.
There we go. Let me get that off there.
It's okay.
Okay. hopefully it plays nice for you.
Let's see.
I need to clean that stamp too.
Oh, well, I didn't get that. There we go. We're good.
Did it go? Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Let's see. So
Let's see.
I didn't clean my stamp right, but if you have, I noticed in the sale, Wendy put some of our cleaning cloths in there.
Oh, nice.
And so I think they were like $2 too. So if you want more of these, they're awesome. So I'm going to do this off camera so I don't spray my project, but I use my little water bottles and I just spray my little stamp cleaning cloth with my water bottles because I don't have like a sink or something in my craft room. That keeps me from having to run all over. And then I can just grab my stamp and clean it real fast. Which one did you want?
Point me to your ink.
Ink.
I
Okay, what
yep,
color you want?
Purple, I think.
Ooh, a purple. Let's find a good purple. How light?
What
Do you think? Is that a good?
Oh, that looks great.
A good one? Okay.
Yep, that looks great.
See how that turns out. Okay. Which sentiment are you doing?
I'm doing nice to see you.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Cute card. Okay, did I get all my bling down? Nope, still need one more over here.
Let's hope I could do this right, guys.
Go for it. If I can quilt with your help, you can definitely get this done. So.
Oh, it turned out pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, see if you
Looks great.
Do you need a second coat or is it ready to go?
I think it's good, actually.
Perfect.
Let's see here. Let me show you. It turned out pretty nice. It's a little off straight, but that's fine. We're gonna run with it because you know what? When you're hurrying to do things,
we're already about at the hour mark, so
yep,
we're just about finished.
Yep. Oh, yep.
Okay. Let's see. Should I add some bling to my jellyfish? Guess I need to stamp a sentiment on that one. Let's see here. A jellyfish. Make a wish upon a jellyfish. That looks good to me. So for this one, I'm not going to use. I'm going to be risky since I already slapped this down on my card. So, aren't these cute? One of the customers in our Facebook group sent all of us these gorgeous
saw those are
blocks.
adorable.
So basically, they're meant more for like holding down various things that you're gluing to make sure that they adhere. But I think I'm going to use it to go ahead and stamp on this because it's handy and it's so pretty. Okay. And you had purple. Let's see. The purple I think would look good over here too.
I didn't clean my stamp yet. Sorry.
Oh, I think we can forgive you. All right. Let's go pick that up.
Got to keep on our good side.
You can even help me with a live broadcast. I think you're on my forever good side. Okay. All right, all inked up. A little prayer and push it in.
I think I need.
Get the top of my head in here. Sorry, top of my head just for a second. And get my placement. Perfect. All right, so a little bling. Clean that stamp off. All right,
There we go.
Okay, so
That's
how are we doing?
Good. I guess I just need one more sentiment, and then I'm done. If we have time.
Here, put that one over there so we have just that last one. Let's see for Stingray.
Yep, for the Stingray.
He is cute. Look at how cute that card
adorable,
turned out.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Very cute. Let me move that up just a little bit.
So one of the add-ons to the Ocean Friend kits was this epoxy dots. I think we're going to do a couple of these with.
Did you clean this off for me?
Oh yeah, the stamp is clean. Just pull the stamp off of there.
Another reason why we're friends. She'll clean my stamps for me.
Hey, that's an easy job. I will take that anytime. All right, so again, kind of like we talked about earlier, I'm probably just going to do a little bit of a rule of threes with my little epoxy dots. You have some pink in there. And I'm going to go over here to our little large circle that we did. And maybe a yellow. And some of that yellow. Let's do purple. And another pink.
I think that will go.
Okay, and maybe, no, I think about it. Might just call that good for now. Oh, pretty cute. Okay, let's add it to our collection on this side. Okay. While you do that, I'm going to look at the comments for just a second.
Okay,
here.
perfect.
If you have questions, now's a good time to ask them. Not straight, keep it sit, makes it straight. Cheryl. Love it. What brand of inks are you using? Okay, I have a multitude. Oh, I took them over here. Okay, multitude of inks. So I'm Probably most of my favorites are Lawn Spawn. Well, I can't even talk. Lawn Fawn. I've also got some of my favorite things. I also have some Catherine Pooler inks, which are in a different spot. I use the minis of those too. Let me pull those down real fast. Sorry, I'm going to reach over you.
That's fine.
Without bumping you while you're stamping.
Just
so
make
these
it
are
more
the
fun.
Catherine Pooler ones. I like them because they are usually really good in just one quick. You don't usually have to double stamp them. Usually once will do it. You can get it straight and get it full coverage without having to do it twice. So if you don't like using the stamping platforms, I do like these a lot. These Catherine Pooler minis are good for that. I won't put that above your head again.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Got another one done?
Any other questions? Let's see. Hence, we might see some more mail-inspired kits or paper pads this year. Definitely, including the mystery kit. I guess one more thing I could say about that is that it will have some good options for anyone, not just girls, not just boys, not just kids, not just adults, but it's going to be a very versatile kit. Maybe I could even, if you liked things that have lots of versatility, like our Love Jar kit or our vintage truck kit, the special delivery kit. If you like those kits and their versatility, you probably will really love our mystery kit. Okay. You know you have a good friend if they clean your stamps for you. You got that right. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, ladies. I think we're just about out of time. So do we have all the cards done, or are you still finishing?
They're all done.
One? Okay, let's take a look real fast. Okay. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let's hand them over here. This camera's going to be a little bit better showing them close up. So, our 5 finished cards. Oh, cute. Love it. Hermit crab, jellyfish, stingray, whale, and our cute seal. Adorable. So all those done with just those 4 pieces of pattern paper that we, cut to death with our foundation dies. Look for the die guides in our royalty group. And thanks for spending National Scrapbook Day with us. Let's see. We're going to say goodbye real fast, so get the smile. There we are. Okay. So there we go.
There we go.
Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a good one.